Joker 2 or Joker Folie à Deux, right? Folie à Deux and a deux. You know, I'll tell you, this is a departure for me, as the guys know, as you guys who listen and know my work. It's a departure because I usually crow and give my blessing and just endorse things. I don't do, bad reviews. I usually don't anyway. But this is an exception. And call it a rant, call it a bitch fest. But this is incredible to me. Now, we all know, look, I don't have to give background. Joker, Folie à Deux, Joker 2, because who's going to keep saying French? I took 4 years of French and I have problems with. But Joker Folie à Deux is it's a debacle. It's a great word to say, a debacle. Alexa, what is a debacle? Let's see what she says.
The noun debacle can have a few meanings. 1. A general breakup or dispersion, sudden downfall or rout. 2. A complete collapse or failure. 3. A breaking up of ice in a river.
Alexa, stop. A complete failure. There you go. A complete failure. And this is, I guess, what every DC or comic book fan, Batman, Joker fan is experiencing, and or just movie fan. Now, I haven't seen the film. Okay, full revelation and disclosure here. I have not. But I'm judging by, of course, the debacle, the box office bomb that everybody knows. And, we don't, you've been living under a rock, right? It is become, or it's slowly becoming, or quickly becoming, one of the worst bombs of all time. You look at The Flash, that was one of the biggest bombs. Everyone says Waterworld from back in the day, but supposedly that made a real killing and made a lot of movie later. A lot of money. It made it stuff back on video, home video, whatever. Point is now that we're having Joker Folie à Deux is being this weird animal in the comic book world, in the comic book movie world, because we've always gotten great films usually, and sometimes they bomb. Now DC has a record. Wonder Woman, 1984. Comes to mind. Flash comes to mind. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I believe. Like, there are bombs, true, and they haven't nearly performed as well as Marvel. But Joker, Folie à Deux, 2, the turd, is really in a class by itself. And for me, aside from the comic book, movie fan and just comics. I mean, I started reading comics at like 7-8 years old. I clearly remember by the time I was 8 or 9 going into the local candy store in Jersey here, Juchi's, and I used to buy, a quarter. It was a quarter, 30 cents, whatever. Then it went up to 50 cents. The point is, back in the 70s, back in the day, I was buying Batman comics. So, and then to see all these movies from Tim Burton and Michael Keaton, 1989, and that evolution, obviously Superman, back in the day, Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve, and that was the movie that really kind of started it all. But the point is that now we've got this machine that, in Warner Brothers, DC, Marvel, and Disney, they keep churning out these great movies usually, technically, and they're always well done and beautifully looking films, and usually pretty entertaining. So we have a director, Todd Phillips, who did gangbusters with the Hangover movies, and then of course the first Joker, which made I guess over $1 billion. Joaquin Phoenix, Joker himself, Arthur Fleck, won the Oscar. Everyone loved the performance. You might not have liked the movie, but the guy can act. Great performance. And now we've got Joker, Folie à Deux, a turd. And we know, or we pretty much know how this came about, that Todd Phillips and Joker and Joaquin got together and said, we're going to make like a musical, or if I recall, they wanted to do a full-on Broadway show. That was the sort of, dream and vision. That was the intent. And I think it was right in the middle of the pandemic or so. And they were like, we're not sure because no one goes to Broadway shows during the pandemic. You can't. And so then they said, oh, no, we'll do a film. And I believe that Joaquin Phoenix had a dream. Oh, I want to do this as a musical and I want to do this and that. And we all know what happened. We don't, but for me, the most important thing for me to get out and express is to think that in 2024, where Hollywood has become mostly this franchise driven, but big conglomerate and multinational, company corporations that own the comic book properties, that own pretty much every IP or, intellectual entertainment franchise, that they would allow Todd Phillips, as good as a director, he proved himself with Hangover and of course the first Joker, to take sort of him and Joaquin's vision and just completely run with it. And by all accounts that DC didn't have a voice or really didn't, greenlight or approve the script. It's just, I sit here in shock still as a fan, as a film fan, first of all. As a film fan, because comic books are comic books, graphic novels, and then we have the films of the TV shows. So for me, as a film, this is like, wow, a huge question mark. And then as a comic book movie fan, I'm just sort of disgusted. So what do you think? Am I too emotional? I'm just very angry about this. I'm not that naive to know why. Again, Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, their performance and their power. But to think that it's at a level of a debacle, a level of bomb. I mean, even Flash people were like, well, it's this, that. It turned out to be a pretty good movie. I liked it, actually. I was pretty much shocked. Ezra Miller, that whole thing with his performances off the screen, that was a different issue. But with Joker, Folie, Deux, we've got something entirely different. Oh, and I heard Lady Gaga's upset because they cut some of her scenes. So I think that's the least of your worries, lady. I really do. Anyway, what do you think, guys? Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.